Chapter 20, Locomotion and Movement. Locomotion is a different term and movement is also a different term. I give you some example of movement, like we move our limbs, we move our jaws, eyelids and tongue, etc. And locomotion meaning is if we reach one place to the another place, if we move one place to another place, if we travel one place to another place, like running, walking, swimming, flying, etc. Like many unicellular or multicellular have locomotory organ like amoeba. Like amoeba. How this unicellular organism will move? This is the amoeba and this is their desired location. Amoeba wants to travel at this place. What they do? They arise their false feet at the desired location. They arise their false feet and move towards their food particle. This movement is called as a amoeboid movement. Next, this is the euglena, again a unicellular organism. What they do? How show their movement by flagella. This is the flagella. This help euglena for locomotion and movement. I give you another example like paramecium. This is again a unicellular and this is small outgrowth. We call it as a cilia. Cilia provide paramecium, locomotion and movement. Again I take you example like hydra. Like this is the hydra, that is their tentacles, their mouth part, their basal part. If they want some food and food is located here, they erect their tentacles for this direction and grab the food and then engulf. They don't move, their tentacle is motile. They elongate and contract, according to their need. So let's start with this chapter. Types of movement. How many types of movement? First, amoeboid, ciliary, second, and third is muscular. Let's start with amoeboid movement. First is amoeboid movement. Some specialized cell in our body like macrophage and leukocytes. This is not a normal cell, guys. This is not a normal. They eat, they engulf foreign particle which are enter in our body. This is also fight against the antigen. What they do? They show amoeboid kind of movement. This is the macrophage and this is the foreign particle enter in our body. Then macrophage, what they do? They move towards foreign particles and engulf them. Macrophage push their cytoplasm towards the foreign particle by the help of cytoskeletal. What is this? What is the meaning of cytoskeletal? These are microfilament which are help in movement and locomotion. So the macrophage engulf this foreign particle. They consume this like this and then they break down this particle. Alright guys, so this is the procedure of amoeboid movement. And leukocyte, what they do? Leukocyte, this is another cell in our body. They are immune cell body. Alright guys, this is not a normal, not macrophage, even not leukophage. Both are not a common. These are immune cells body. If some foreign particle like antigen enter in our body, it may be virus, it may be bacteria, whatever, then what leukocyte will do? They move their cytoplasm towards the antigen and then engulf this antigen. With the help of their enzymes, their chemical reaction, they break this antigen into smallest fragment and make them dysfunction. So this is the amoeboid movement. It is affected by pseudopodia, means false feet. They arise their false feet. towards their host. By the streaming of protoplasm, cytoskeletal elements like microfilament are also involved in amoeboid movement. Exactly. These are very helpful. These microfilament very helpful for movement and locomotion in amoeboid movement. Now, next, second is ciliary movement. We already discussed about ciliary movement by paramecium. We already discussed that paramecium have multiple cilia at their body surface. They are helpful in movement and locomotion. Female tract also have cilia. Yes, female tract also have cilia. These fallopian tubes contain cilia. Fallopian tubes in female contain what? Contain cilia. For why? Because we know that female ovary release every month one egg. Female ovary release egg in 1 month. So these egg travel with the help of cilia. And come into uterus part, and the layer break down and menstrual cycle come. Same this side also. Egg will release and these cilia transfer the egg towards uterus. Okay, the cilia provide movement to egg to go further towards uterus. First position is this, then second position, then third position, and fourth. This egg come from this to this side. Next, here the female reproductive tract is also facilitated by ciliary movement. Our trachea also have ciliary for removing dust particles. Our trachea, we know trachea covered with cartilaginous ring. Their wall also contains some cilia over there, so they can easily remove dust particle. Okay, now next movement of our limb, jaws, tongue, etc. require muscle movement. The contractile property of muscles are effectively used for locomotion. This is the movement. But if we want to do some locomotion, then muscle is very useful. Our third type is muscle. Alright. Locomotion require a perfect coordinate activity of muscles, skeletal and neural system. So let's start with muscles. Let's take up some brief introduction about muscles. Muscles divided into 3 parts: skeletal muscle, smooth muscles, and also a cardiac muscle. This is the cardiac muscles. Alright guys, let's take a brief intro. Flagellary movement help in the swimming of spermatozoa. Sperm have flagella and they have movement capability. They are motile in nature. Not female egg motile in nature. The sperm is motile in nature. Maintenance of water current in canal system of sponges and in locomotion of protozoans like euglena. I already told you that euglena have flagella. They are useful for movement. This flagella, this is also a flagella. They are helpful in movement and locomotion against the water and down the water pressure gradient. Sponges also have canal system, water vascular system, and in locomotion of, okay, this is complete. Muscles is specialized tissue of mesodermal origin. I will teach you in detail how we can say that muscles are mesodermal in nature. We know that egg come from female and sperm come from male. When they both fuse, when they mate, this process called as fertilization, and they form zygote. This is the N haploid, this is also a haploid, and this is diploid in nature. Further development, zygote convert into blastula. The cells start dividing, then blastula stage is formed. After blastula stage, they proceed further in gastrula. This is the gastrula stage, and this gastrula stage decide which layer form which kind of organ. We have 3 germs layer. This is not in your course, guys. This is extra and very important. You should know these things. First layer is ectoderm. Second layer is mesoderm, and third layer is endoderm. This is the arrangement. Ectoderm, this is the outer layer. Mesoderm, middle layer, and endoderm, inner layer, innermost layer. So ectoderm decide to form their organs, mesoderm decide to form their organ, and endoderm decided to form their organism. Like example, what kind of organs formed by ectoderm? Like teeth, like nails, like skin. They made up by which derm? Ectoderm. What kind of function of mesoderm? They form muscles. Yes. So this is line is correct. Muscles is specialized tissue of mesodermal origin. So muscles origin from which derm? Mesodermal. So muscles are mesodermal origin. Alright. Mesoderm form muscle cell. Even skeleton cell, smooth cell, cardiac cells, bones, some connective tissues. And what is the example of endoderm layer? What kind of this layer form the organs? They form inner lining of every organ. Like every organ have their inner lining, like stomach, liver, pancreas, trachea, they all have inner lining. This inner lining made up with endoderm. So I hope this term is clear ki how we can say this mesodermal is origin of mesodermal origin, how muscles is originate from mesoderm. So this term is clear. After gastrulation, this three germ layer form and they decide which layer form which kind of organs. About 40 to 50% of body weight of human adult is contributed by muscles. Our 40 to 50% weight is totally muscles. If someone have 50 kg weight, so their 40 to 50% weight is muscles only. They have special property like exchangeability, okay, we can say excitability, contractility, extensibility, and elasticity. Okay, we are very much familiar about this term. They can contract, they can relax, they can elongate this size, and if we want to elongate, this much size we found. Muscles classified into three parts: skeletal muscle, visceral muscle, and cardiac muscle. First is skeletal muscle, another one is visceral muscle, and cardiac muscles. Alright guys, let's start with skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscles are closely associated with the skeletal compound. They have stripped appearance under the microscope and hence are called as striated muscles. They look like this. Look at here. They have a striated. Okay, location. Now location. Where these kind of muscles are present, as their activities are under the voluntary control of nervous system. These kind of skeletal muscles attach with our skeleton, like our shoulder. We can move easily. The shoulder movement in our control, hands movement, legs movement, locomotion, fingers movement, eyelids movement. These are, they contain skeletal muscles. They are voluntary according to our desire. They move and locomote. But in the case of visceral muscles, they are located in the inner wall of hollow visceral organ like alimentary canal, reproductive tract, etc. Means if you take your food, then you can engulf. After engulfing the food, you can't do anything. Food travels automatically by visceral muscles to food pipe to stomach, stomach to small intestine to large intestine. Okay, you can't control these situations because these organs contain visceral muscles. We also called it is a smooth muscles because they does not have non-striated, means they are simple, they have only nucleus, they are simple, non-striated. They are located in alimentary canal and reproductive tract. Assume this is your reproductive tract. Is this ovum is ovulate according to your permission? No, na. This is ovulate according to their timing and they move towards uterus by ciliary movement, not according to yourself. Okay guys, their activity are not under the voluntary control of the nervous system. We can't control this kind of movement, only nervous system control these movement. Involuntary or voluntary, both are movement controlled by nervous system, but voluntary movement sometime we can control, but involuntary movement we can't control. not controllable, not control. But voluntary movement, sometime we can control. Okay. For example, in the transportation of food through the digestive tract and gamete through the genital tract. I told you before, food engulf. This process is in your control. But after engulfing the food, now you can't control anything. How he goes towards stomach, stomach to small intestine to large intestine, not in your control. Okay. Not even gamete controlled by you. Gamete is also not controlled by you. They are controlled by involuntary movement and involuntary muscles like viscous muscles. They move gamete towards vaginal tract or reproductive tract, gonadal tract. Alright guys. Next, switch towards cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles are always found at the heart muscles. Cardiac muscles are the muscles of heart. This is the important. Obviously, this cardiac muscle always found with heart. Many cardiac muscle cells assemble in branching pattern to form a cardiac muscle. That's it. Based on the appearance, cardiac muscles are striated, of course, and also non-striated. They are involuntary in nature. Of course, they are involuntary. Is cardiac pumping in your control? Heart beating is in your control? Blood pressure is in your control? No, you can't control. Only nervous system can control this. You can't control. Central nervous system can control this thing. And this is the structure of muscles. We can read this in further video. Let's finish it here. Okay. So this is for today. If you like my lecture, please subscribe my video, my channel, Adhyan with Flow. And thank you guys. Thank you for listening me. Keep smiling and keep revise more and more if you want to secure your rank in NEET examination, AIMS examination and other competitive examination related with biology. Thank you so much for listening me.